Now, Trump has got more legal problems, more indictments. This time it's Georgia. But it isn't just Trump, it's all of the people around him. What is going on? I'm joined now by Alan Dershowitz, former legal counsel for Al Gore, who challenged and lost the presidential election results in 2000, and author of the book, Get Trump, The Threat to Civil Liberties, Due Process, and Our Constitutional Rule of Law. And Alan, the title of your latest book, I think, says it all in many ways. But remind people what Al Gore did back in 2000.
Well, he did pretty much the same as what's being done now. He challenged Florida count. He said, can't we find 570 or so votes? I was the lawyer for the voters of Palm Beach County, which were deceived by what was called the butterfly ballot. Many of them voted for a candidate other than the one they intended to vote for. We had the hanging chads. I probably have the distinction of having worked for the election of both Al Gore. I worked on the impeachment of Bill Clinton, Ted Kennedy, and then also, finally, I defended Donald Trump in his impeachment. I don't pick my clients based on my political views. Myself, I voted against Trump and plan to do it again, although nobody can ever be sure. But I care deeply about the Constitution and about not weaponizing the criminal justice system against a political candidate. We don't want to become a banana republic. We're on the road to that now, unfortunately.
No, well, Alan, with your long history in all of this, it's why we're honoured, we really are, to have you on this programme again. When it comes to Trump, you know, the fourth indictment, are people taking this seriously, or are people in the middle? You know, those without a particular political bias either side, are they looking at this and saying that this is unfair, that this is wrong? Because it seems that within the Republican base, it's making Trump stronger.
I think it's making Trump stronger among his obvious supporters. They think it's unfair. The people on the left are applauding it. The very same civil libertarians who would have opposed using the RICO statute, the racketeering statute, in a political context are applauding it. And there are people in the middle who are saying, gee, we don't like Trump particularly, but we sure don't like distorting the Constitution to get Trump. My book, Get Trump, became a big bestseller among moderates and centrists, even though none of the bookstores, the local bookstores or book fairs would carry the book because they saw it as a pro-Trump book. But I think a lot of moderates are getting fed up that we don't know what effect it would have on the general election. We know it's helping Trump in the primaries, and he's going to surely get the nomination, although he's going to have to spend the next several months simply sitting in court listening to a case not only against him, but against 19 other people. You know how long that trial is going to be? You know, the prosecutor says she'll bring the case to trial in 6 months. That's nonsense. It can't. There's no way to do that with 19 or 20 defendants, and there may be more defendants added. There are always supplementary indictments. So we're in for a long season of law, and this case will be on television. So the American public and the British public will be able to watch it with their own eyes.
No, and as you say, you know, they brought Rudy Giuliani into this and Mark Meadows into this. And I mean, the idea that a huge number of people conspired to overturn the election result, I mean, frankly, it looks like utter nonsense to me.
I'll never forget, I represented some of the people in what was called the Dr. Spock conspiracy indictment back in the 60s, early 70s, opposing the Vietnam War. And we brought all the defendants into a room at Harvard Law School because I was one of the lawyers in the case. And these conspirators met each other for the first time. They said, oh, you're so-and-so. I've heard about you. You know, they were supposed to have conspired. They had never met. Well, we won that case, but we'll see how this one goes.
And overall, final thought, please, Alan, if I can. The American judiciary clearly has become highly politicized in a way that it never was before. How can it be reformed? How can it be changed? How can it be trusted again?
We have to adopt something like the British system, where there's a minister of justice who's overtly political, a member of the cabinet, and then a director of public prosecution who decides who to prosecute, unrelated to anything the cabinet or the government wants. In the United States, we merge these two incompatible roles in one person. The Attorney General is supposed to be loyal to the president. He's a member of the cabinet, and yet he's supposed to be objective in deciding whether to prosecute Hunter Biden, whether to prosecute Joe Biden, whether to prosecute Donald Trump. These are incompatible roles. And
Absolutely.
this is one area where we fought a revolution against you guys, but we didn't take the best of your legal system. And I hope someday, I hope we can borrow that.
On that note, Alan, thank you very much indeed. That was Alan Dershowitz. Utterly brilliant is all I can say to that. Utterly brilliant.